Welcome back to this episode of Ballers World Live.
With a Z.
With a Z. Don't forget the Z now.
Correction.
We have in the studio with us infamous turn famous turn / author Freeway Rick Ross. How's it going, sir?
Man, it's
Welcome.
well. It's well.
Welcome, man.
Yeah,
Thank you for
thanks
being in with us.
Yeah.
Glad to be here. Y'all caught me just in time. I just got off tour.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where were you touring? So what some of the cities you in?
Well,
For the book?
I did Columbus, Cleveland. I was down doing the finals. Akron, Ohio, Youngstown, Dayton, Cincinnati. Then I went to Detroit. I did 8 days in the Detroit area. Then I went to Flint for 2 days.
Yeah.
So I've been getting around.
Yeah,
Been
moving
moving
around.
around,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah, go back out. I go back out on the 13th.
What's your favorite part about touring?
Making money.
Making money.
That's right, at the end of the day, right?
That's the truth. Nah.
Yeah, I don't like the work. I mean, the work is grueling. You know,
Yeah.
we were getting up at 7 in the morning, going to bed at 3 some nights. Man, it was rough. But you know, to get to touch all the people and to see how you're able to bring somebody else up just by you being there is like, wow, what a feeling.
That's awesome.
Well, you know, a lot of our younger listeners, you know, they don't know your background and you know, one of the things I thought was very inspiring, you know, in your past and history, aside from, you know, the role that you played in one of the heights of the crack era, was that there was a point that you didn't know how to read, correct?
Yeah, I was totally illiterate.
Correct. And not only that, during the period of time when you were locked up, you actually represented yourself, if I'm not mistaken, and was able to find a loophole in the system that you were facing a life sentence. You were in jail for a life sentence. So you were someone that, one, didn't know how to read, two, put yourself through law school, fought a case that now led you to sitting here in front of us.
Jailhouse law school.
Jailhouse law school is still effective.
Wow.
It's still
Got the
effective.
job done.
Yeah,
And then
man.
3, you wrote a book.
It's amazing.
I wrote a
man.
book about it, and I think that's powerful. So you don't mind sharing a little bit about the book and what motivated you to write this book?
Well, you know, since you mentioned that, I when I went to prison, I was totally illiterate. I mean, had never read a book, had never read a sentence in a book.
Correct.
So I had to start all over. You know, started first by teaching myself my ABCs.
Correct.
Then eventually, a week or two, I was reading the newspaper, and then went from there to reading the law books. And I learned some secrets from my stint in the drug business, you know, that I had been practicing some skills that I didn't even know that I was practicing. And that was to be going the extra mile,
Correct.
you know, not to just be half doing it. And when I thought about it and I figured it out while I was in jail, I started doing this same thing basically when I studied law. And I got so good at law that when I walked in the courtroom, I felt that I was the smartest person in the courtroom. And, you know,
You proved that.
I was in the courtroom with some pretty smart people. So to go from, you know, being illiterate to feeling that, you know, you could compete with lawyers who had graduated from Yale and Harvard and you know, and so forth was you know, is a feat, you know, is an accomplishment in itself.
Well, I think that's a testament to once you make your mind up and you put your mind to something and you follow through with it, no matter where you come from or what you've been through.
Or where you at.
Or where you at. Anything is possible.
That moment, right?
Literally, anything is possible.
Exactly. And that's pretty much how I saw it as well. And the book basically came along, you know, after all these processes were taking place and you know, I'm in basically I'm in a maximum security facility, you know, where you basically in the room 22 hours a day, you know, most days, and you had a lot of time to think. And while I was sitting there and I was wondering, not knowing if I was going to ever get out of jail again, what could I give society? You know, what could I do from that cell that would give me some substance?
Correct.
You know, would give me value. And what came to me is that I should write a book.
It's amazing.
And I started to work. And this book is a throwback to what I came up with.
So the book is Freeway Rick Ross, The Untold Autobiography. And what are some takeaways that people will get after reading this book? I haven't got a chance to really dive into it yet. So
Well, you know, some of the main things that I hope that people will get from this book is that you're still the champ as long as you get up. You know, you have to take the title from the champ. You know, you can knock him down, but if he gets back up, he's still the champ again, you know.
Right.
But if he ever decides to lay on the floor, then that's when his title is no longer his. You know, somebody just took his title. So that's one of the points that I hope that people will get out of it. And then the other thing that I think is very, very important to especially young black males, and you know, that's who's really buying the book.
That's right.
You know, the book I sold over 32,000 copies right now.
Congrats on that.
And that's who's really been buying the book. Women don't really know the secret yet, and it's mostly street guys.
Yeah.
You know, when I was in Detroit the other day, it was a camera guy that was with me, and he knows Detroit, and he said, "Man, you know all those dudes who just bought your book, and them is bosses."
Right.
So he said, I saw some of them biting their nails, you know, because they really didn't want to come over, but they had to. So I wrote this book. And I wrote it for young black males in particular because I saw that they were going through some of the same things that I had went through already, and I was hoping that this book could kind of guide them through the transition that they're going to be going through, and just, you know, give them some pitfalls and some smooth roads. You know, like, you know, this could be a smooth road if you go down it. This what I saw when I went down it. This one over here, some bumps. Yeah. You know, if you take that road, be ready for the bumps, because you know you're gonna get hit upside the head a couple times, and you know, either you're gonna take it or you're gonna collapse. Yeah.
What was it like when you were writing that book? You're going through your experiences to be taking yourself back into those experiences.
It was amazing, you know. To when I wrote the book, I tried to take myself out of myself, you know, because I have a tendency to play myself down. You know, I like to be the small guy and kind of shy. Like, I don't want people to know who I am. So I had to come out of that, you know, and like explore my accomplishments. You know, like, man, you took $125 and you made $3 million a day sometimes. Right. You know, how you gonna not? That's right. Recognize that, you know. How can you not?
I was about to get to that next. I mean, you sharing that leads me to my next, you know, question. When you're talking about the purpose of the book, you know, and the culture that we live in has been so heavily influenced by the drug trade, the drug culture. You know, I grew up in the 80s, 90s, and you know, my father, unfortunately, he got trapped in the drug trade. You were making over $2 million a day. I think there was a point you probably made $1 billion over your career, you know, just to, you know, put it out there. But when you think about all of these young men that are out there, you're talking about the young males that are buying the book. A lot of them are still in the drug trade. A lot of them are still in that active, in that lifestyle. And a lot are looking for a way out. And to hear someone with your your creativity, your mind, even though you couldn't read at that time, you were still able to make that kind of money per day. So there's a lot of positive things that I think a lot of the kids that are out here can plug themselves into.
Oh, absolutely.
And what, if you don't mind sharing, what are some of those things that you found now that you're on the backside looking and saying, man, if I was making that kind of money, my exit strategy would have been completely different?
Well, you know, what you find out from analyzing the drug lifestyle is that a drug dealer is really a manager.
That's right.
He's an accountant. He's a marketer. He's a banker.
What I wanted you to share. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a lot of stuff. You know, you're loaning, because basically when you loan drugs, if you loan drugs, it's just like loaning money.
That's right.
You know, so he's a banker. I saw myself wearing so many different hats that I was like, wow. And then what really kind of like put me on this track, you know, because I went to jail illiterate, but I didn't come out that way. I read over 300 books while I was in prison. And I started off with books like LA Times had did an article and said that I sold crack like McDonald's sold hamburgers.
I remember that.
So I had to find out, what did McDonald's and me have in common? Yeah. So I went and bought McDonald's book. The San Jose Mercury News said I did it like Walmart, and I went and bought Walmart's book, you know, to see what they were doing, so I could analyze them and analyze myself at the same time.
And from that, what did you find?
Well, we had a lot of the same skills. You know, I wanted to look out for my people. I didn't want to cheat my people out their money. I wanted to make sure that they got what they were supposed to have. I wanted to have the best product at the best price. Those are two McDonald's and Walmart qualities.
2 all beef patties, sesame seed, special sauce. I see.
Yeah. So
could we say McDonald's and Walmart maybe took your blueprint,
appropriation going on.
and took it to the corporate level.
Yeah, I don't know if I say that, but we would practice some of the same skills, and now I'm using their format,
Right.
Yeah.
to implement
To give
my
back.
own.
What you're
All right.
doing, right?
Well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you're gonna be with us for our next segment, but
Yeah.
we have to
Gotta go to break.
Go to break for
Pay
a
a
second.
few
Before
bills.
we go, I wanted to say shout out to Anta. Go to antamerica.com. Use the promo code ESPN2, 30% off. Gotta get my hustle in too. Shout out to ESPN. Shout out to ESPN. DJ Mystery, if you could take us out, man, and we'll be right back with Freeway Rick Ross.